know if you had anybody else that you want.
Good evening and welcome to City Council meeting on July the 26th. Madam Clerk, would you read the roll call, please?
Mr. Cannell?
Here.
Mr. Shyland?
Present.
Ms. Gray? Here. Mr. Moore?
Present.
Ms. Reclue?
Present.
Mr. Shiverdecker?
Here.
Mr. Vaughn?
Present.
And Mr. West.
Here.
8 council members present.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Full house this evening. If you all rise with me, Pastor Bruce Williamson is with us this evening, and he'll lead us in the invocation. Thank you for being with us.
Prithee, sir. Our Father in heaven, we'll keep first things first, and I want to pray internationally tonight for the terror attacks today in Normandy in France, and yesterday, Lord, in Munich, as they begin to recover and take care of grieving families and the injured. Also, Lord, I want to pray for Alabama and Louisiana. I want to pray for Baton Rouge as they begin to have services for the slain police officers from last week. And I pray, Lord, that you would intervene in the devastation we're facing as a nation and all over our world. You're the answer for all the chaos we're experiencing everywhere, and we need your help. So we pray, Lord, on behalf of all those that have been victimized and all the grieving families, the injured that are recovering, and help us, Lord, to be a reflection of you. I thank you, Lord, for the moderation. Especially today, we had a breeze and a lessening of temperature and humidity, and that makes it so much better for construction workers and those that are on the street serving our community. I'm grateful for that and for the latter rains. I pray for this session tonight, for our mayor and council persons, for the larger community that will participate in this session. And I pray, Lord, that the discussions that are held and any and all decisions that are made, that they'll be pleasing to you. For those that are part of our city family, I continue to pray your blessings on and care for Mrs. Bush-Joes. I pray, Lord, today for Gabriel Polston, for Chief Myers, Mayor Benton, Mr. Chyland, Mr. and Mrs. Reclue. And I pray, Lord, as well for Carolyn Lasswell's husband, Bill, and any and all others who are a part of or have been a part of this city family. We are deeply grateful every day for the way of life that is ours in our community. So, Lord, accept our thanks and our gratitude. We pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. Appreciate it. At the beginning of each council meeting, we set aside a time for visitors who would like to visit with the council concerning a situation within the city that is not on the agenda. We just ask that you limit your comments to no longer than 5 minutes, and that you give us your name and your address. So at this time, is there anyone present who wishes to come forward and address the council? Seeing no one coming forward, we'll go ahead and assume not, and we'll move on with the presentation approval of council minutes from June 28th. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes that were in your council packet?
Move for acceptance.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to accept the June 28th minutes as presented. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. Very good. Thank you. Also in your council minutes were the minutes from, or packet, were the minutes from July 12th meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes?
Motion to accept?
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to accept the July 12 minutes. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
And all those opposed, no. Okay, very good. Thank you. Both those minutes are approved. We'll now turn our attention to the monthly financial report for the month of June. Ms. Hoslog is with us again this evening, and she will run over the notes with you. Thank you. Okay.
We've now collected 5 months of sales tax, and we are 0.6%
ahead of where we were last year this time. So I'm hopeful that's just a temporary downturn. We're not halfway through the year, so hopefully we'll pick up. And I wanted to let you know that we made the first payment on the public facilities complex in June. It's a 10-year payout at 3%, and we will retire $400,000 worth of principal a year. Okay? The interest will be ever declining each month. Okay? And as I'm sure everyone is aware, in June we transferred the money for the final golf course payment. So that's over and done. Okay. I sent in a reimbursement for the sewer direct loan for the improvements at the wastewater treatment plant. I think we expensed $166,000. They reimbursed $158,000. So the difference was the retainage. And I'd be glad to answer any questions anybody might have.
On the health insurance, it looks like our claims are quite a bit
They're
higher
high.
than what we've been expecting. Do we expect that to continue, that trend?
I'm really watching it. I mean, that's, you know, that's kind of an unknown. We have several people who have gone over the stop loss. So at that point, it stops for those individuals. But yeah, I'm watching it every month.
It's a little concerning.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, I don't know if you were here last month, but I said I was going to keep an eye on that because
Okay. Yeah, I
I thought it was
wasn't here.
pretty tight.
But we do have some reserves from prior years. correct?
Yes.
That
I
we
think
could
our
latch on to.
fund balance, we have a positive, probably $500,000. And I think year-to-date, we're down, is it 100 and something? Yeah, 118,000.
So it kind of cycles. Some years we can build that reserve, and some years we may have to dip into it. That's kind of what's happening here.
Yeah. I think they say every 7 years. That's what they say at the industry standard, that every 7 years you can anticipate
Oh, really?
having a
Higher
bad year.
claims.
Yeah, I'll be down.
And it probably has been that many.
It's interesting.
Move for acceptance?
Wait a minute.
So,
Any other questions? Go ahead.
Cat, on the airport where we spent that $331,000, and then we'll be receiving 90% of that back. How long does it normally take for us to get it, or we have to apply for it? Is that automatic or what?
We send in a reimbursement request for each invoice that we pay. Send in the reimbursement request, and it's usually not any more than 2 weeks.
Okay, pretty quick then.
Yeah. But now the 331,000 was the contract. That's the encumbrance. So we will spend that, you know, maybe 100,000 here and 50,000 there, and file a reimbursement request on each
on
expense.
each one.
Thank you.
Any other questions from Ms. Cathy?
I move we accept the.
Second?
We're good. I have a motion and a second to accept the financials for the month of June. Is there any further discussion of that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. Okay, very good. Thank you, Karen. We'll now move on to unfinished business. I think we have hanging out here from last meeting, council retreat dates. Everybody have a chance to check those dates, or which one was the most preferable, or if there's another date that's better. I'd like to hear from you.
What's best for you?
Tuesdays will work for me, I'll let you know that.
Okay. So, do you have one that would work?
For me, not just anything but Tuesday really is it.
Okay.
That's the two that they had picked.
No, I know.
You got your calendar.
Does anybody else have a problem with Tuesday?
No, I'd like to see it in September.
I would too. I do like
That
September.
way, if we need another one, that'll give us the next month
Okay.
to have another one.
I agree.
I don't have to be there, I'm just letting you know I can't make Tuesday nights.
Okay.
20th looks good.
Thank you, Mike. Let's go ahead and
Am I?
schedule it for September the 20th. And if we end up having to have another one, maybe we can pick another day besides Tuesday, and maybe Mike can join us.
Got Mike,
But we'll keep you updated on what's going on. So,
What time are we scheduling these?
I think it'll be 5:30. Does that work? Is that too early?
Yeah,
Okay, give me a time.
Oh, that's right.
let's go 6:30.
Some people had to work for them.
Yeah.
Okay,
Next door. Okay,
we'll try 6:30 then.
that sounds good. They'll be here.
And we gotta do it at the, here or the police
Let's
station?
just do it here. We'll do it in the executive conference room. Okay. Very good, thank you. We'll now move on to the retail coach recruitment update. Retail coach was in town last Wednesday. Again, giving us an update. I'm going to ask Darren Warnig to come out. We've put an awful lot of their presentation on our website, and he's going to show you how to get there and how to get to the information. And basically what they did, they've refined our retail market area, and also they did the profile of our community and have given us a list of recommended retailers that they suggest that they try to go after, and we have given them some feedback on that, and also it's just kind of interesting to look at the profile. So I'm going to ask Darren again to show you how to get there. This is our website, fultonmo.org. So if you'll just go on the internet and go to fultonmo.org. Go ahead, Darren. Take it.
Yeah, it's good evening, everybody. It's pretty easy to get to the information. If you go to the main homepage at fultonmo.org, on the right side of the screen under important links, it says Fulton Retail Market Analysis. So click on that, and that'll take you to the page right there. There's just a little brief rundown on the purpose of it. And then here are all the different files that has various data. The first one here, retail match list. So this kind of gives a list of some of the possible businesses that we would be looking at trying to come here, and they all have this main title page, and then here's kind of the nitty-gritty as to
You'll find
what the information has. And as you can see, under hotels, restaurants, general merchandise, grocery, auto.
One of the reasons we put this on the website is because Retail Coach recommended to us to do this. So therefore, if their site consultants, et cetera, for Arby's, for instance, decides to come and take a look at us, and he'll have the specifics of how Retail Coaches has profiled us and so forth. So he can then verify that information. And we may also put a map on there of available sites, but we haven't gotten that far yet. I still need to refine that with Bruce. But yeah, just for the viewing public, you might show them. That's our primary retail trade area. You can see we primarily go along Highway 54 and stay pretty much within Callaway County. And they have also what they call, and then this is the profile of that market area. So you can see there's about 44,000 people in that market area. You can probably see it better than I can. So. That's the kind of thing and then they profile the folks there with typical, their average wages and et cetera. So. Another interesting slide would be this one. It's called the gap opportunity analysis. It analyzes they have evidently formulas where they can forecast what for instance, what auto dealers ought to sell in a 44,000 retail trade area, and then they show what our actual is, and then they compare that with what their formulas show, and then we end up with what they call the missing sales, or the gap. And so it gives you an idea then of what type of businesses that you should go for to fill into those, to help fill that void. And of course, ours is substantial. As we all know, our area's been underserved for a good long while. So that's what this graph's all about. So anyway, I invite everyone here and everyone in the community to please go to our website and look that up and go through it.
I'd like to know, in that report, it shows there's this many Hispanics that live in Fulton and this many Indians, whatever. Where did they get those totals from?
Probably the census.
Does the census indicate that?
Yeah.
I'm so concerned about everything being racist. Is that, can you do that kind of a thing?
People can volunteer that information if they want to. They're not required necessarily, I believe, to volunteer that information.
Yeah. So any questions of Darren? It's fairly simple how to get there. So.
Thank you.
And again, there's a lot of information on our website. Darren does a good job of working on that all the time. Mary, did you have something?
No.
Oh,
I just was,
right.
thank you.
Well, I was gonna ask, and Tamara is here from the Chamber of Commerce tonight, she happens to be here. Is this also on the Chamber's website, do you know?
No, not yet. We are rebuilding our chamber website and trying not to direct too many people to the old website because there's a lot of old information on there.
Oh, okay.
And that we will make sure that it's stuff.
Well, and it's here, I know you usually, well, there'll be a link, I'm assuming, so.
And I'm sure they'll also put Holt Summits on there too. So
Yeah.
they did a similar analysis for Holt Summit.
Right.
Right.
Mayor,
Yes.
when we were at the meeting, Bruce had a list of businesses that he gave them that he thought that we would prefer to go after. Is the list that he showed on the first of this, is that the same list or?
It's very similar. I think they refined it some when they went back using that list. Now, again, that list came from them. That was their suggestions on what we have. But what we did was pass it around City Hall. Various individuals throughout the building rated businesses from there.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what that was all about. So they took that information, I think, kind of refined a little bit where they were going forward and created that list that's now on the website, because this is the latest information that we've received. So we'll try to keep it updated, so it's interesting.
That's current.
That's current.
What all they've done. So. Okay, thank you, Darren.
Thanks, Darren.
We'll move on to our overlay update.
This past Wednesday, we received 2 bids for the overlay project this year. As you guys probably remember, the overlay project, it was requested that we look at doing more concrete work. When I say concrete work, I'm talking about sidewalks and curb and gutter work, especially the 2 main roads that we had that work included on were Grand Street and 9th Street. 9th Street from Bluff to the park. So, one of the other major items on there was asphalt construction on 13th and Brookside out to our new facility. And we received 2 bids from Christensen. His bid was about $501,000, and Capital Paving also submitted a bid for about $625,000, something in there. So, well, that's Christensen. The apparent low is still over what we have currently budgeted or left in the budget, and saying that they're anywhere from $80,000 to $100,000 over what we have budgeted. So we need to take a look at what we really have to do, want to do, or what we want to creatively finance.
For the next council meeting, we'll come back with a plan or a recommendation as to either to locate the funds or modify the project scope.
Okay.
Any questions?
Is there a completion date in view when all this is set stone to go?
I can't tell you what the completion date would be right now. I can't remember off the top of my head what the calendar days were of the project, but I can get that to you.
Before winter.
Before winter.
Yeah.
When's asphalt?
Yeah, paving season.
Paving season over.
We historically haven't had very good luck telling asphalters when to come to town.
We'll be done at the end of September, probably. September, early October,
Yeah.
probably.
That's pretty quick.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it will probably depend on what concrete work we do, because you know, the concrete work will have to come in front of the asphalt work, so that'll depend.
The figures that you quoted there, did that include the concrete work, or is that asphalt?
That included the concrete work. That included everything.
Everything.
We can kind of slice and dice it up in different ways for you, and present it to you at the next council meeting.
Okay, super.
Okay, great.
We're moving on then. Any other questions for
Thanks, Kyle.
Mr. Kyle, Mr. Berman? All right. Thank you, sir. Okay. That's it for unfinished business. We'll move on to new business. Westminster College has in your packet a request for a Rock the Block event. And we have a representative with you. You're not Nicole Elliott.
I am not Nicole Elliott. Nicole actually works for me. I'm Jackie Weber. I'm the Associate Dean of Student Life.
Nice to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be here. So we would like to close 7th Street from Westminster Avenue to what is our Champ Auditorium parking lot for an event during our New Student Week and orientation activities. We've already spoke with Chief Myers, and we have agreed to close it later than originally posed, so we only interrupt bus routes once that day. So we would be asking for closure from 9 a.m., and the concert will end at 7. And so we would hopefully have the road be open again by 9 p.m. that night.
Is the council invited to this?
I'm sorry?
Is the council invited?
You
to
are
this?
welcome to attend. I maybe can get you to meet the band.
It says it on here somewhere.
Well, there we go.
It sounds like you could probably just be a few blocks away and still here. Right?
That's
I'm
fine.
sure.
I talked to her prior to the meeting. Kyle's crew will drop off barricades at West 7th and Westminster, probably the day before even. And the organization will be responsible for pulling the barricades out at 9 o'clock in the morning, and they'll be responsible for returning the barricades to the grassy areas about when they reopen the road. We won't have any overtime involved.
We're going to advertise this in any way to tell people that they need to either go out Gaylord or, what is it, Hickman that goes
Make them
up?
aware.
Goes up by the ambulance.
Good.
What do you two think? It's your ward.
Are you talking to me?
Usually they just close it. I pulled out the other day and they closed the road for, I guess they were working on the street.
Yeah.
And usually they just throw a sign up saying it's closed, so.
Well, that was the city. It used to be, I think, the college campus group went through the immediate, like 6, 7, and then let them know that it was going to be closed. So I don't know if we have any students that do that anymore. But that was a few years back.
And I think they're going to set the barricade on the west end up such that if traffic does come from the west, it'll be able to cut through the parking lot and get around. And I mean, people over there know
Yeah, I
the
know.
ways ins and around.
I
And
used to live over there, I know.
I bet that would be a newsworthy subject to give to the paper to say that street would be closed on this day.
To our
Absolutely.
newspaper, yeah.
Yeah.
With no
You can do
objections,
this
I
with
move
the
for
newspaper
approval.
Where it says upcoming events, and it won't cost you a dime.
Okay.
Courtney.
I'm sorry.
I'll second it.
Does this, my motion includes do we have to approve the noise permit, or does it just come into the?
You guys don't, but
Okay, all right.
Or they ended
Very
it
good.
before-
I have a motion.
You're closing, but you're shutting down by 9 o'clock, right?
Yeah, they ended it.
So the
Yeah,
noise,
the event will end at 7, so with tear down and everything, we should have the road reopened by 9.
okay, so the noise permit's not a big deal.
Yeah,
Right.
it shouldn't be.
That's true.
Yeah, the event is just 5 to 7 itself.
It'll only disturb day sleep.
Some of them holler probably louder than the band some days.
Sounds like fun.
Okay, I have a motion and second to approve the event. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. Very good.
Thank you.
Sounds like we're going to rock the block.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
Appreciate it. All righty.
Says something.
We've set a time in each council meeting for council to bring their concerns that have not been covered somewhere else in the meeting. And at this time, well, I think last time, if I remember, I started on this end. I'll go to the right. Rick, do you
I
have
have
anything?
nothing today.
Steve?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay.
Mr. Hudson already knows about my complaint, Mr. Johnson. But I've had 3 complaints about how did my constituent says, the goat corral on Monroe. That if you want to come and smell the odors and the noise, and why is goats allowed in town? You've heard about this too?
I know, yeah.
There was about 8 of them in there. We seen him notice he took all but 2. At one point, there wasn't any, and I noticed there's 2 back. Animal control went over there yesterday. Let's see, today said no, went this morning, I'm sorry, and told them that they had to get rid of the other 2 goats. You can have goats in the city of Fulton. If you've got an acre, you can have 1 goat, but that's not an acre. That's 14,000 square foot lot, so he can't have any there.
No. Okay. So is there a reason why we allow goats in the
I'm
city?
sorry, what?
Is there a reason we allow goats in the city?
Why we let it? We always have. You've been here for 25 years. You know good and well. We allow goats, we allow horses,
We
we
allow
allow everything.
chickens.
Everything
We
we
allow-
allow.
Steve, the only thing we don't allow is
Is
pigs.
swine. You can't have swine of any kind, but everything else we allow.
If you have the adequate.
If you have an acre of
no
land,
bacon?
right?
Yes, ma'am.
That's been
Now,
I've got a neighbor to
there
my
are some
north that's got a
people
lot
that
of
feed
cattle.
chickens with less than an acre, but, beg your pardon?
I just said, well, I've got a neighbor to the north that's got quite a bit of cattle over there, so.
Yeah, well,
But there's lot size limits on the
yeah,
animals.
Yeah.
right. You have to have an acre to have a goat or a horse or a cow or anything like that.
Well, you corrected the problem, and you'd be happy now.
Yeah, well, we're working at it. The person we're dealing with is a pretty tough customer to deal with, but we will get those goats taken care of.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hudson. Very good. Anything else, Steve?
No, sir.
By the way, it's good to have you back with us this evening.
Thank you.
Mr. Vaughn, do you have anything?
The only thing I've been asked is about the trash that's underneath the bridge down at the end of the roundabout.
That's Highway Department trees.
Is that Highway Department?
We contact them, and at some point in time, they will come and take care of that. Do you remember when we did that roundabout, they wanted to give it to us,
Yeah.
and we said no?
Yeah, that's a good reason.
Very good.
At times, I have seen our guys out there cleaning that debris out. Is that in emergency situations?
We will open it up a little bit. We won't do a tremendous job of cleaning the brush and debris, but what our guys are doing down there oftentimes is getting the mud and the silt off the walking trail. MoDOT will not do that.
Yeah,
Right.
that's okay. It's good.
Okay. Very good.
But we've had a backhoe down there before, like trying to push the brush underneath
go
to get
through.
it to go through. Open it up a little bit.
And then the other question I've got is Clay had Parks and Rec down there cleaning the brush and stuff on the creek. Are they done, or are
I
they
believe so.
still gonna work some
I
on
think they're
it?
done down there.
We can check that with him, let you know. Okay, anything else?
Who notifies the highway
Not me.
department to clean that?
Hmm?
Who notifies the highway department to clean that, all that pile of brush?
Kyle?
That guy there.
That guy.
That guy.
I've got a 1-800 number.
Oh.
Anything else, Rich?
No.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Gray?
Well, I've already spoke to Mr. Johnson about this. In today's newspaper, there was the changing of no parking on this side of the road or whatever. And the individuals that have been calling me are handicapped individuals. And they're complaining that there's not enough handicapped spots. And they can't there's not enough places on Court Street that are marked handicap. And this one complained that when I walk down to Salt's Drugs, I'm exhausted because there's not enough handicap spots. Let's see, what was it? Oh, and when we had the 4th of July fireworks at the country club, there was a certain part on Wood Street that the homeowners had put orange cones out to where you could not park there. And they said they wanted to take their grandkids there to watch the fireworks and what have you. And one individual actually got out of their vehicle and moved those cones so they could park there and watch them. I don't know, is that street already marked there on Wood Street that it's a no parking zone, or can a family just put out the cones and say, don't park here?
Mr. Steve, you want to address that, Chief Meyer?
So the homeowners put the cones out?
That was what her understanding was, that the homeowners put the cones out there because,
Well, I guess they can try.
well, I
They
told
can
them
do it as
that.
long as they can get away with it, I guess.
I guess, but they shouldn't be able to.
They wouldn't be allowed to do that if they were, I mean, we do that occasionally, but homeowners, I don't believe, could. If nobody said anything, then obviously it doesn't make any difference. Or it could be, I don't know where it was on Wood Street, but there could be some issues with
Can I give the name?
hydrants, or I don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe people pulling off into
Was
their
it
yard and
Courtney?
putting ruts in the
It was
yard.
not me.
Did Courtney do it?
No, no, no.
It was not my house.
It was Courtney.
It's Courtney.
To the golf course.
Is that
It was right in front of Courtney's house.
She's got those signs that say closed by police order.
That's right.
Courtney's allowed to do
But she-
Courtney's allowed
Nice
to
city
do
of
that.
Fulton cones.
Miss Gray, what block were they in?
Yeah, do you know right off, they say?
Yeah, but I know the homeowners. Can I give you their name? Is that legal?
No, just,
No.
No.
You can, but it
just-
wouldn't be
they,
best.
they should, Beverly,
Uh,
they shouldn't do it.
okay,
If there's nothing legal about them doing it.
okay.
If somebody wanted to park there, they could have parked there. We wouldn't have said boo.
Okay.
They wouldn't have been able to say boo. Just, but it's, gotta give them a gold star for trying.
Tried something, didn't they?
But I've also seen the fire department put out cones to reserve for their fire trucks too. So they
Oh,
need
we-
to make sure that the homeowners
Yeah.
want to put them out there.
Yeah.
Fire department uses cones, we use cones.
Yeah.
Right now, you drive around the city, there's lots of cones.
So you don't know.
So it-
So next year at the firework display at the country club, if they see these cones and they want little grandchildren to, they can kind of move them cones over to the sidewalk or what?
Depends on who put
Probably
them
for
there.
them to call.
Yeah, they could legally, but
They'd be
That's
better
not
to
to
call.
I would advise them probably not to, but
Okay,
that'd be up to them.
okay.
Very good. Thank you, Chief. Appreciate the info. Very good. Thank you. Ms. Gray, anything else?
Until you're ready to go up and move it.
No, not this time.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lau?
On Mrs. Gray's request or the concern about the parking, isn't there a formula about how many handicap spots are to be per, however many spaces there are?
Yes,
Yes.
And
downtown meets the criteria.
we meet that criteria?
I think we're actually one long. We put a new one in mid-block 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
Is there one close to the two drugstores?
Maybe we should have one next to the
Yes.
drugstore in the middle of the block though,
The
because
drugstore's-
that's gonna probably draw more people that have that handicap need. I'm just
Any
speculating there.
It's not too far from the drugstore, I don't
yeah.
think.
It's like the first one in front of Regions Bank, it's a handicap, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's quite a, that's.
Then I was
on the other
thinking
side
there
of
was
the
one
street.
around, isn't there one around Beck's, Les?
The
There's
drugstore's got a
one down the
drive-up.
center right where the crosswalk's at.
Is it?
Okay,
They got a
Okay.
drive-up.
Yeah, there's one right at the crosswalk.
that's not too far.
No. I mean,
Well, I say that, I'm not handicapped.
That's
I was
right.
gonna say, I don't have that
But we
problem,
can't
so-
get them all in front of the doors.
Right, I know.
Best we can.
Center ways, it wouldn't be bad.
Okay, but we'll double check that. Very good.
And I had one more comment, it's not a concern, but just a thank you. We had a constituent complain about a sewer issue. I contacted Mr. Johnson. he contacted Daryl, and they really helped out a lot with that sewer concern. So thank you. Great job, guys. That's all I have.
We try to make you look good.
You did that day.
Miss Mary?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mike?
I have a question on Vine Street Bridge. There's a sign there that says bump, and that's an understatement. I'm wondering when that's gonna be finished.
Yeah, the sign is still there, obviously, because of exactly that. The project will be finished when the asphalt overlay is done. The asphalt that is included, the 2-inch overlay is
Okay.
included for right there at the bridge. So we wanted to keep that signing there to get people away from the edge where that bump is. So.
I'm just driving straight along, and I didn't.
Well, Mike, if you drive fast enough, you don't even notice it.
That's true. You missed the bridge entirely.
To slow you down, Mike.
Yeah. No, I don't normally go that way, but I, just go over
There'll
there
be
now
some,
and check it out.
They'll when we do that project, there'll be a little milling associated with that project.
We'll make it a little smoother. Okay.
Yeah. It's probably not gonna be perfect, but it'll be better than what it is.
It
right
won't
now.
be before school starts. Of course, the buses probably don't even notice it.
Yeah. Well.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Mike?
That's all I have, sir.
Mr. Wayne? Okay, very good. Thank you all.
Resolutions.
We'll move on to resolutions, of which we do not have any. And then it looks like ordinances are up next. And we'll look at first reading ordinances. Councilwoman Recluse, if you would please present bill number 1456, which is an ordinance that does away with rummage sale permits. And if you'd please present it for first reading by title only.
Yes. Bill number 1456, an ordinance repealing Chapter 90, Article 2, rummage sales, Section 90-28 and 90-29, Fulton City Code, to remove the requirements for a rummage sale permit and establish an effective date. I make a motion to place bill number 1456 for our second reading at our next regular scheduled meeting.
I second that.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I have a motion and a second to advance bill number 1456. Is there any further discussion of that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying yes.
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 All those opposed, no.
I'm gonna miss those 50 cents.
What?
I'm missing 50 cents for budget.
50 cents to print up and have the person issue it.
This should go to the council slush fund.
Slush fund.
Yeah.
Continuing on with bill number 1457, it's an ordinance that repeals some ordinances so they can be corrected. Councilman Moore, if you'd please present bill 1457 by title only.
Just if I can update for the newspaper. This ordinance we're doing tonight makes no changes to the existing no parking locations or those types of things. It's a housekeeping measure, but there are no new proposed changes in this ordinance versus anything we've already had. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Just the fee.
You ready?
No, we're talking about the parking.
Bill number 1457, ordinance repealing ordinance number 1373 through 14, 1383 through 15, 1390 through 15, and 1394 through 15, and 1395 through 15, amending chapter 110, traffic of vehicles, incorporating new ordinance and establishing an effective date. I move this for second reading at next regularly scheduled council meeting by title only.
Very good, thank you. I have a motion and a second to advance bill number 1457. Is there any discussion of that motion?
I just want a little more clarification. Did we make an error when we did these before?
They just weren't really coded right.
Right.
The ordinances are fine, but they weren't really coded in the book right.
Okay. All right,
So this is just gonna help us clean it up, organize it, get it into the code, codify it.
all right.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of advancing 1457, please signify by saying yes.
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 All those opposed, no. Okay, very good, thank you. We'll consider that second reading next time. That does it for first reading ordinances. We'll now consider second reading ordinances. And Councilman Shilen, if you'd please present 1454 by title only, which is an ordinance that has to do with a mutual aid agreement with Callaway County.
I will do first, or second and third reading tonight unless there's an objection. Bill number 1454, an ordinance authorizing the mayor on behalf of the city of Fulton, Missouri to sign all necessary documents in relation to the addendum of the Callaway County's Fire Chiefs Mutual Aid Agreement and establish an effective date. I move that bill number 1454 be scheduled for final reading at tonight's meeting.
Second.
Very good, thank you. I have a motion and second to advance bill number 1454 to third reading. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying yes.
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 All those opposed, no. Very good. Brings to mind, before we go to third reading, I'd like to welcome Assistant Chief Kofeld back with us this evening. It's good to see you. I know you've been through some troubled times there, and it's good to see your health issues are over. Let's go. Councilman Shilen, if you'd go ahead and present 1454 for third reading.
Bill number 1454, an ordinance authorizing the mayor on behalf of the city of Fulton, Missouri to sign all necessary documents in relation to the addendum to the Callaway County Fire Chiefs Mutual Aid Agreement and establishing an effective date. I move that bill number 1454 be voted on for final passage at tonight's meeting.
Second.
Very good, thank you. I have a motion and a second to advance 1454, third reading. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. Very good. You've heard bill number 1454 presented 3 times, and it's now time for final consideration. As the clerk reads the roll, please answer yes or no to roll call.
Okay, Mr. Shilen,
Yes.
Ms. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Ms. Reclue,
Yes.
Mr. Shiverdecker,
Yes.
Mr. Vaughn,
Yes.
Mr. West,
Yes.
and Mr. Cannell.
Yes.
8 council members affirmative.
Very good, thank you. Bill number, we'll now move on to bill number 1455, which is an ordinance that has to do with creating some 14 parking spaces at, for the Fulton Public School District. Councilman Shiverdecker, would you please present 1454, title only, second reading?
Bill number 1455. If nobody has any objections,
All
I'll
right.
read it twice tonight.
Thank you.
Bill number 1455, an ordinance authorizing the mayor on behalf of the city of Fulton, Missouri, to enter into an agreement with the Fulton Public School District for the creation of a 14-space parking lot at the north end of the McIntyre Elementary School property and establishing an effective date. I make a motion that bill number 1455 be read for a third time at tonight's meeting.
Second.
Very good, thank you. I have a motion and a second to advance 1455. Is there any further discussion of that motion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Sure.
I can't in conscience support this. I supported it last time because there was only 5 people here. I wanted to get the chance for the whole council to look at it, but I don't think it's appropriate for us to be doing this. It's my opinion.
Very good, thank you. Anything else?
What's your reasoning?
Why don't they contract it out like we have to contract it out? You know,
To build their own parking lot?
yeah. I mean, I know there's a need, I recognize that, but I just don't think it's appropriate for us to use our staff to do work there. We have enough work for them?
Well, my input on it when it came to traffic commission was that it's somewhat helping our citizens to live in the area that had, was the biggest complainers that traffic was congesting to them in their lives, and some of them didn't have driveways, and they had company, there was nowhere for them to park.
So therefore, we're helping our citizens, and this is part of our,
Well, at one time, they said they were short on finances to do it, so you can say we helping our citizens and we kind of helping our school district to take care of the problem. But I understand when you said, Mike,
Okay.
about that.
I mean, and there's been other instances where we could have used some help, and that's where I'm gonna stop,
Okay.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we do this for this situation, what are we gonna say next time?
Right.
When the next school has a request that we build a parking lot for them?
Or school, or the county, or the ambulance district, or, you know,
I
Puts
thought the
us in a
city
tough
actually
position.
owned that property, is that not right?
No.
pardon? Didn't hear that.
It was
Ownership of the property, is it on the school district's property?
It
I believe
is.
it is, isn't it? Yeah, it's on the school district's property. Yeah,
Would this be for employee parking then, or?
Yes, to get it off the street.
primary.
Okay, I kind of agree with you, Mike.
it's to alleviate a parking situation, or help alleviate a parking situation along Hickman there.
And I recognize there's a situation there that needs to be addressed. I just don't think it's our responsibility.
Well, all you can do is vote your conscience. We don't always all have to agree, so.
That's right.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, and this is just for the labor,
That's correct.
just the labor
Yeah.
that we're doing, okay.
Equipment and labor.
Thank you.
And which the school district, yes, the school district is reimbursing us for all the rest of
Okay, thank you.
it. Okay? Any other questions?
What would the approximate cost be on our labor for that? We have some kind of ballpark idea of
You have an idea,
$3,000?
Tom?
$3,500?
Approximate?
Well, and the other piece of this, since it's kind of come up, is now we're competing with private enterprise. You know, would you like us to go in the air conditioning business? Want us to start
Right now,
selling-
yeah.
I think there's some nights you would.
Right now,
Now
he's
I'm
helped.
tired
You
of
know,
it.
it's where we draw the line, so.
Very good. If there's not any other discussion, I'll ask for the question. All those in favor of advancing 1455, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no.
No.
Could I have a show of hands on the noes? Okay. 2 noes and 6 yeses. Okay, thank you.
I think there was three.
Three no's.
Oh, I'm sorry.
3
was there
noes?
one?
Okay.
Well,
Wayne,
I think there was.
I didn't see
Yep.
you down there.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't see you. Okay.
poke out.
5 and 3. Okay. Let's go on to third reading, advances.
Bill number 1455, an ordinance authorizing the mayor on behalf of the city of Fulton, Missouri, to enter into an agreement with the Fulton Public School District for the creation of a 14-space parking lot at the north end of the McIntyre Elementary School property and establish an effective date. I make a motion Bill number 1455 be voted on for final passage at tonight's meeting.
Second.
Very good. Thank you. I have a motion and a second to advance bill number 1455. Any further discussion? We discussed out?
Yep.
Okay, very good. Call for the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no.
no,
Same 3?
same three.
Okay. Anybody change? No. Okay. Very good. You've heard bill number 1455 read 3 times, and it's now time for final consideration. Please answer yes or no to the roll call as the clerk reads.
Okay, Ms. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Ms. Reclue,
Yes?
Mr. Shiverdecker,
Yes.
Mr. Vaughn,
Yes.
Mr. West,
No.
Mr. Cannell,
No.
Mr. Shyland.
No.
Okay, 5 council members affirmative, 3 opposed.
Okay, very good. Thank you. We'll now consider the monthly report for the Director of Administration for June. Majority of the department heads are with us this evening in attendance. Do you have any questions on that report that, again, was in your council packet? Please bring them up this time.
I do, Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
Okay, starting on page 5, we have a sanitation and food establishment inspection report. I like the detail that's provided here. So I want to express thanks for that to Les and his staff.
Yep.
It means a lot more to see what the actual violations are and that they're corrected. On page 23, I guess this would be for Daryl, our bill. Under Utility Superintendent Report, the third bullet from the bottom, reviewed a June 22nd permit application for Missouri Network Utility Transport approved by the PSC to install an 85-foot wood pole in a residential neighborhood. What's going on there?
We thought that might be asked tonight. We did receive a permit application from what I'm going to call a mini cell phone company.
Okay.
And they did ask permission to put an 85-foot pole in the street right-of-way in town in a residential area. We have not signed off on that permit yet. We went ahead and we called MML and MPUA, and we did contact the congressional offices. We have a letter drafted to send to the congressional offices. Basically, just bullet points stating that the City of Fulton residents take pride in their neighborhoods, and a pole of this size in a front yard would be unsightly. For residential zoned areas in the City of Fulton, the installation would exceed the height restriction of 35 feet and would have to be voted on by the City Council. While this particular location does have overhead utilities, the city is concerned about other locations that have developed with underground utilities. The placement of such a structure in the city right-of-way would devalue these properties and deter the goal of placing utilities underground. And the city has spent large amounts of money to bury utilities in other areas of Fulton, such as along Highway Business 54, to beautify the roadways, along with other utilities such as Charter, Communications, AT&T, and Socket. A large sum of money has been spent to bury those utilities, and these would devalue that expense that was paid. The question the City of Fulton is struggling with is the Uniform Wireless Communication Infrastructure Deployment Act, which was passed by the state legislature by allowing companies like this one to place structures in city right-of-way without concerns of zoning height restrictions and consideration of the other monies that have been spent for utilities to be placed underground. And the ending sentence is, would you want one of these in your front yard?
Okay.
So that's kind of where we're at. They do have all the paperwork, they have all the insurance, all those things. The permit is complete.
Did you get any kind of response from any of the people you contacted?
Try to work nice with them.
Yeah, I understand.
No, that was the response.
Oh.
Sure.
Well,
Where's this at?
in town.
Where?
That's part of the issue.
Yeah.
The specific location. In this instance, I think they picked a residential neighborhood that it wouldn't be quite as offensive in.
Okay.
But if we say yes in this residential neighborhood, we're going to have to say yes for the one that wants to go in front of your house.
Right, exactly.
And that's why even though they didn't pick one of the most expensive neighborhoods in the community, we're going to fight it.
Okay.
Well, here's what you're looking at, is that the new developments inside the city limits are all going to underground utilities.
Right.
Oh, of course.
And now then somebody's wanting to stick a pole in your front yard.
It's bad enough we got that one across.
An 85-foot pole.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you're talking.
No.
How tall is the one at the YMCA?
280 feet.
180 feet, so about half the size of that.
Half the size of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you need the council to do something, I for one would be.
Well, like you
supportive.
said, we contacted our state senator and state rep.
Yeah, I see that.
And they said, well, we're going to have the PSC give you a call. Well, the PSC did call. And we're not getting an answer.
They don't want
we're not getting a yes, you have to let them, or no, you don't have to let them, or the answer we've gotten pretty much across the board is, well, try to work something out. If you don't want it there, try to find someplace you're okay with them putting it.
Well, once upon a time, about 15.
That's not our job.
About
Find
15
someplace for them to put it.
That's right.
About 15 years ago, we passed an ordinance saying they can't do that, and then the state come out with this and changes what we got in place.
Exactly.
The state has very routinely and historically taken the cell company's position on recent legislation. Been pretty much anti-city.
Well, there's big money in the telecommunications lobbyists.
But there's no way.
I'll say it right out loud, I don't care.
Say it again.
There's no way that this complies with our ordinance. And,
Right.
yeah, we've looked at that, and for number one, it says that you have to have a lay-down area far enough away from a street that would be 85 feet. So, you know, there's just no way that it complies.
Right.
You can't put it on one of our right-of-ways next to a roadway
Right.
by our ordinance.
Our ordinance is right.
Okay.
I
Well,
think we continue saying no.
Yes, I
And let
agree.
let the state fight us.
Yeah.
They may take us to
Mr. Johnson
court,
said
too.
we couldn't get really a clear answer.
I
In
understand.
one part of the law, it says that you can't ask them to move it or to co-locate. And then another part of the law, it says existing zoning ordinances apply.
Which is our,
You know,
no, so-
and the
And
only
that's
reason I
why-
wanted to know
So we
where it
have
was is
zoning
so that those
ordinances,
people
so
would know
it's no.
what's being looked at.
So what they're saying.
But I wouldn't care where it is,
Yeah.
I would oppose it
Me
as a
too.
residential area.
Yep.
Okay? All right, thank you,
But I
Darrell.
think we do.
Thank you very
Might as well
much.
stay up here, I think I have something
Good
else.
catch.
for you.
Thank you for that question.
This is
Very
a
good.
good time to
Um,
take us to court.
On page 37,
Yeah.
this is under Parks and Rec. You got 6 broken lounge chairs around the splash pad. Was that normal wear and tear, or was that vandalism?
I was spreading you into what?
The 6 broken lounge chairs around the splash pad, was that
Van-
vandalism? Sure.
I assume.
Okay.
We'll check on it, let you know.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, are we gonna do anything, I mean, I'm sure there's nothing we can do other than we turn off the Wi-Fi for one thing down there, but do we need to put up some cameras or anything like that? Just asking.
Or just don't put the chairs back.
Yeah, don't put the chairs back, let people bring their own. The city swimming pool, we had a vacuum we had to replace at $2,200 and a pump for $1,200. Is that, I'm still on the same page,
Thank you.
37.
Thank you. I didn't have it.
Is that money we had, I mean, is that normal kind of expenses?
Oh,
we
yeah.
have money for?
If you own a pool, I guarantee you that.
Yeah, I understand. And then under Tanglewood, on page 38, we had a condenser and compressor on the cooler at $2,800.
Yeah.
So are those unexpected expenses? Or is it normal?
Those are, I don't know, both?
Yeah.
Unexpected normal.
Unexpected, normal. I mean, you don't plan on your refrigerator quitting.
No.
But if your refrigerator quits after 20 years,
It's,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
okay.
it's expected, yeah.
I think Rick sits down there and prays.
Oh, well, in the restaurant.
I don't know that he sold any of those.
I don't have to pray.
Well, in the restaurant business, they
Things
don't,
just happen. They break.
Okay.
they don't go out in the winter, they wait till it's 100 degrees. and they all-
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, the air conditioner always quits in the summertime, right?
Of course.
That's what keeps Lyle so busy. Page
Air
59.
coolers and walk-ins.
59?
The hot
Okay.
weather's bad for them.
Manhole and inflow and infiltration project. We had a report due yesterday. Did we get that?
Yeah.
And?
We're going to invite them either to the next council meeting or the council meeting after that for them to give a report to you. They've identified areas in town where we're getting a lot of infiltration.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, so it was successful, even though we didn't have that much rain then,
Oh, we had
enough.
a high enough number of rains for us to develop a pattern.
Okay, good.
We did not get the gully washer,
Yeah.
but we did get a high enough routine rain to develop a pattern.
Good.
All right. Thank you. Then on the under sewer project, St. Michael Street sag and East Sewer.
Yeah.
That's right behind you, isn't it? St. Michael?
Yeah.
What's going on there? I mean, I've heard some rumblings from the neighbors, but
Yeah, there's a sewer line that runs behind the houses on the west side of the road.
yeah.
That runs real close to the houses. There's a sag that's developed in that line. It's caused an issue with one of the residents up there.
Okay.
And therefore, we're looking at solutions. We need to work with the citizens that are up there, or the citizen in particular, to directly solve that situation.
You said that's behind the houses, not on the street?
It's behind the houses. There's a sewer line in the street as well. The top half of some of the houses up there run to the street, and the bottom half runs to the sewer that's behind the house. So.
And that's we have a right of way there, I guess?
We have an easement where that sewer is.
Yeah.
To fix the problem, we really need to bring the sewer that's behind the house to the front, which would require an easement from the particular resident that's having an issue. And so we're investigating whether he's willing to give us that easement or not.
Okay. This is our main, though, that's in this easement, that's sagging.
Yes, it's our main.
Is this like normal settling or something? Is it what's going on?
There was a deck. There was a structure put on top of this sewer line. I don't know if it caused the sag or not, but the sag happens to be right where that structure is.
Oh.
I see.
You almost had to make that assumption, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Does Clevewood join those, or attached to those by any chance, or?
No,
Okay.
Cleveland does not run.
You're good.
Well, yeah, thank you.
Okay.
What else you got, Mike?
And on page 61, I guess it's still yours, Kyle.
61?
Under GIS, worked with Andy and Chris to map for electric meter reading. Are we still running routes? I thought that's why we were going to the...
Chris, with our electric department, wanted to do some training on some new employees that he has on where the routes were, and so he wanted a map that indicated that showed those folks kind of where the route was before they went and read water and gas meters, I believe, in that area.
Okay. Are we still, I guess my question is, are we still running routes? Are we collecting it through our...
That's something that Bill or Daryl may have to answer.
Yeah, we're still walking routes.
Are we? On everything?
Everything.
All right.
Well, I think we're getting the reads off the electric,
Okay.
but I think, are they still hand reading the electric? With the water and gas, we're still walking.
So it's gas that they're walking. That's the
Has some water.
that's the path through my yard.
I see him.
Well, they're still getting water that way too, I guess, right? Okay. I know we keep working with Tantalus and all that. I see that every month, so, all right. Thank you all. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Mike.
That's all I have, sir. Have I worn everybody else out yet?
Very good. One other, on page 4, and I talked to Les a little bit about it earlier, but they sent out almost 200 nuisance letters in the month of June. I think we need to discuss that at our, when we have our meeting.
Yeah.
I know it's the same old thing, but
Yeah.
200 letters, nuisance letters sent out. We need to do something different than we've been doing. That's all I have.
That's it.
I didn't see it. Thank you.
It's on the bottom.
I have one question, Mr. Johnson, where on page 88, you said somehow city got involved in the Family Dollar roof replacements. How did the city get involved and what did they do?
Thank you. I forgot that.
We were I don't know. There was a meeting we had in the building between the owner of the building and a contractor the roof received pretty serious roof damage.
Right. In fact, it
The
looked like it
owner,
would've
the
fallen.
owner wanted the whole roof replaced.
Mhm.
The insurance company wanted to patch it. And they drug the city in to be a mediator. And we said, we don't care. You know, you can patch what's damaged for all we care. Or but we're not gonna let you put a new layer over everything because you're already at the maximum. And then we kind of got out of it. But it was an hour and a half meeting of why are we here? Why are we here?
Right, okay. So they wanted a whole new roof and the insurance company says, we're not doing that?
The insurance company ended up doing the whole roof.
They did.
But we had to get involved because they were at the max, I guess.
I don't know why we were involved.
Okay.
Because the owner wanted a whole new roof and the insurance company wanted to patch. And then when they got to where we just want to cover the whole thing, then we did say, no, you can't cover the whole thing.
Got to do a rip-off.
That's where.
You gotta take the whole thing off if you want to cover the whole thing, you gotta take the whole thing off.
Correct.
If you want to patch what's damaged, we don't care.
I see.
That's a flat roof, isn't it?
No.
No.
This
No.
one down here?
It's got a pitch to it.
It's a slope roof, but it ain't very much of a slope.
It's got a pitch.
112 maybe?
They used us for leverage, basically.
I think so.
Yeah.
The
Sure.
building owner.
Thank you, Ms. Gray. I forgot to bring that one up. I saw it too.
Good one, yep.
You're slipping.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess. I left something.
Anybody else?
Motion to approve the
Second.
director's report.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to approve Director of Administration report. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. Thank you. Board and Commission meeting reports. Historic Preservation met on the 19th. Councilwoman Reclus, you were our liaison there.
Yes, I sure will. Historical Preservation, our July 19th meeting notes met on Tuesday, July 19th, 2016, in the executive conference room here at City Hall. The meeting was called to order at 1 p.m. by David McDaniel. Roll call was noted. Deputy City Clerk, the members present, and of course, tell us the members, Doug Fissis, Bob Holt, Virginia McCoskey, David McDaniel, Judy Shemin. Absent was Commissioner Jeffrey Stone. And also present was Liaison Mary Reclus. Let's see, they did approval of their minutes. Got those approved. I'm kind of running through it. Tell me if I need to stop. Unfinished business, the State Historical Preservation Office update. Lori Long, who's our Deputy City Clerk, summarized information the state provided in regards to some inquiries sent to the State Historical Preservation Office. She explained there is not a state requirement to update the city master development plan. Rather, is recommended to be viewed and updated. The state also suggested how to modify the current historical preservation ordinances as it needs to address the matters of breaking a tie in the voting process. They recommend adding an additional member to the commission or have the president of the commission refrain from voting on issues unless there is a tie, and then they could vote, he could be the tiebreaker. The state did not recommend the council liaison or planning and protective service director to serve as a tie. After some discussion, the motion was offered by Doug Fiskus and seconded by Judy Shuman to have the president refrain from voting on all issues and serve as the tiebreaker. Motion carried with 5 members of the commission voting in favor and 1 against. Okay. The commission finished going through the state's revised version of the Fulton Historical Preservation Ordinances, noting changes that need to be made to meet the state's requirements. Lori Long will begin making revisions to the ordinance in order to present a draft at our next meeting. Brick District update. Virginia McCoskey reported the Brick District recently had a Light Up the Bricks event. Otherwise, there's not much currently going on with the Brick District. Their next event is the Brick Blast in September, held for the returning college students. City of Liberty Historical Design Guidelines. David McDaniel referred to the City of Liberty's Historical District Design Guidelines and how they are available on the city's website. He would like to see something similar to that on the City of Fulton's website. So kind of some guidelines on the structure and layout of the city. Much discussion followed on what the commission would like to see done in the future with building restrictions and how the community would respond. Some members thought restrictions would limit people wanting to start a business in any of the historical districts. And with the current empty buildings, the commission might not want to enforce any restrictions right now at this time. Other members thought the opposite might occur, that restrictions might bring more businesses and more of a quaint downtown leading to more visitors. Mr. McDaniels would like to do some more research on the topic and possibly have an educational presentation for the commission to learn more about the historical building restrictions. So at this point, no decision was made. Historical signage, Mr. McDaniel said he met with the tourism board and discussed the various business design district signs around Fulton. Some current signs read Historical Business District and Historical Preservation Commission, Brick District, Tourism Board would like to see those signs changed to just Brick District. He reported the Tourism Board will be meeting with MoDOT as they will need to approve any sign changes. On the other unfinished business, Lori Long brought up the discussion to the current Historical Preservation Commission meeting date and time. And there was some controversy over what time was best for this one and that one. So after a discussion, the meeting will remain quarterly on the third Tuesday of every month at 1 o'clock in the chamber conference room. Certified local, there was a brief discussion about which commission members attended the Certified Local Government Forum. Nothing, no decision made, just a discussion. The election of president, vice president. David McDaniel opened up nominations for president and vice president of the commission. Motion was offered by Doug Fixus and seconded by Judy Shemin to nominate David McDaniel as president and Judy Shemin as vice president. There were no other nominations. David McDaniel was elected by acclamation to serve as a president, and Judy Shemin was elected to acclamation to serve as a vice president. There was a question from me. I had a question on the Center Street School. Has it ever been, is it a historically designated building? And Lori Long said she'd look into it. They don't believe so at this point. But I had a couple people ask me that question, and I brought it to the meeting, and Lori's going to look into it. There being no further business, the meeting was adjourned at 1:52 p.m. Any questions anybody have?
Thank you.
It's a lot, I'm sorry.
Sound like a busy meeting. Okay. So not any questions for Mary, we'll go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Public Utility Board met yesterday, and Councilman Vaughn is our liaison to that.
We had a meeting Monday, July 25th. Meeting was called to order, roll call was taken. We have presentation and approval of the June 27th minutes. Motion, no changes were made. Motion was made and seconded. We have presentation and acceptance of the financial report. Mrs. Holzlaw indicated that sales tax was 0.6% ahead so far. She also reported that the electric fund had a slight loss. Gas fund had year-to-date loss. The water is in the good, sewer is in the black, and solid waste has a year-to-date, year-to-date loss also. And there wasn't any other business to be had, so they adjourned. Also had a Missouri Rural Water Association training seminar, and a two-hour training for that. I was unable to attend the whole thing. I spent about an hour of that, and I'm not sure what happened after that. Maybe Bill or American report on that.
She just went over different topics pertaining to utilities and rate setting and finances. And then we talked just a little bit about, at the end, about various just generic board operational procedures and ethics and conflict of interest and that kind of thing.
That's all I have.
Okay, very good. Any questions for Mr. Vaughn? All right, thank you. I do not have any appointments this evening. There is an announcement, applies to all of you, so please take note of that. And we do not have a need for an executive session this evening. Is there any other announcements I'm missing, Madam Clerk?
I believe that's it.
Okay, very good. With that, entertain a motion.
One small announcement. I just wanted to remind people, August 2nd is your primary election for local voters. Most of your local governor to all the way down to your city council will be running in the primary in that. So it'd be nice to have people get out and vote.
Very good. Thank you.
new
And the
county
city
fair
also has a
location.
question on that ballot, which,
That's right.
so we would appreciate everyone's consideration there. So, okay?
Move for adjournment.
Thank you.
I did have.
Thank you. Have a motion and second for adjournment.
What was we doing?
We are adjourned. Thank you.
Resolution.